Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Kamapurana Commerce Studio. Welcome to our English lessons. Okay. Today we want to talk about a very interesting topic. Our topic is going to be managing people. Okay, this is a very important topic related to work and certain strategies and abilities and things that we need to have when we manage or work with groups of people. As always, my name is Carlos Martinez. I'm an English instructor and speaking coach. I am a former team leader from Pacifico University. And currently I work as an EFL teacher at Mate Purísima School here in Miraflores. Okay. The topic of managing people is a very interesting one. Recently in my master's degree, I am studying management also. And one of the topics in one of the courses that we took was managing people. And they tell us and they teach us about that normally there are different problems with things. There are different problems with things that happen. For example, the different types of people who work together. Also, the different that there always might be conflicts that appear, and also they teach us how to solve them. So let's start from the beginning. When we talk about management, we talk about like this mind map shows us managers and leaders and all the words that are related to these two terms, right? Of course, manager is related to leader, but sometimes they are not the same. They are related, but not the same, okay? We can have leaders that are not managers, and we can have managers that are not leaders. Okay. If we go to the literal meaning of the word manager, we would know that it is a person who is in charge of a group of people. Okay. 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 So, but the thing is, sorry, but there's a problem with my microphone. But like I said, a manager is a person who is in charge of a group of people. But there's also people who are not in charge of a group of people, but they turn out to be leaders inside their individual areas. Okay. There can be a leader who is part of a group. There can be a leader who is a part of the managing department. There can be a leader who doesn't have that title but assumes that position according as a project goes on. Okay. So it's important to recognize the words that are related to the word leadership. Okay. For example, a leader is responsible. A leader assumes responsibility for the good things and for the bad things. Okay. A leader is the head of a certain project. For example, sometimes when we assign projects to a group of people, one of the members of the group is going to assume the role of a leader and is going to be the head of this body that has just been formed. Okay. Also we have leaders who have the vision of seeing what's going to happen in the future. Okay. And so all these words are words that are related to leadership. Okay. Words that are related to who is going to control a certain group. Okay. Okay, so the thing is, just as they're leaders, they're also followers. Okay, people who follow the leadership of this person. Okay, people who follow the instructions of these people. People who we also have the word goals. Okay, what are our aims? What do we want to accomplish? What do we want to do with our group? Okay, the same goes with direction. The where we're going to go and how we're going to get there. Encourage has to do, I mean, a leader will immediately, if he sees that somebody's having problems, he or she is going to encourage this person of the group, that remind him that he is an important part of the group, okay, and that his everything that he can add is valuable for the to reach the goal. Okay, the effectiveness. Okay, we need to be effective. We need our decisions need to um, be with the final aim of reaching the goals. And like I said, all these words um, um, have some relationship with leaders. And as you can see, the leader is bigger than the manager because, again, like I said, some managers are leaders and some leaders are managers. Okay, but some in the same way, managers, not all managers are leaders, right? And not all leaders are managers. Okay, so um, the first step that we're going to talk about is the part that has to do with, a second here, with the leading part of the program. Okay, the people who are at the CEO level, the people who are in control of the group or in control of everything else. Okay, then we have the people who supervise or direct these other people. Okay, these are the people who are beneath the leading or the CEO level. Then we have our next part that's also important for leaders or leadership is the motivating aspect of the leadership. Okay, if you need to be able to motivate people to be their best, and if they have any issues to continue even though they might have problems. Okay, the following part is going to be the communicating part. How do we communicate with these people? How do we manage to transmit the message of what we want them to do and make ourselves clear? Next, how we manage teams, how we are able to control groups, how we are able to make them function as one. Because again, one thing is to be a group, and another thing is to be a team. And finally, once we are in the team level, how we make the decisions with them. All of these six aspects will help us manage the concept of managing, of controlling people. Okay. So again, like I said, the first step is the leading level of the concept. The next one is the supervising and directing part of the project. And the next is the motivating part. Then we have communicating, we have managing teams, and we have making decisions with the colleagues. Okay, give me 1 second, okay, because I'm having an issue here. Sorry about that. This technology sometimes plays tricks on me. Okay, so back to the topic. Let's explain each of the levels one by one. Okay, the first level that we have here is the leading level at the CEO level. What are the qualities that a leader should have? Okay, a leader is different than a manager, like I said. Okay, they're not always the same. Normally, in this case, it's the people who are in the CEO level. They are sometimes alone in this position, and they have to make these decisions on their own. Okay, they are responsible to seeing the big picture of the problem. They are committed to, if a radical change is necessary, they will take it, um, to make sure that the company or the business achieves its goals. They need to be creative, they need to be innovative. And being innovative is not just, okay, let's use computers or let's use technology. No, to be innovative is to be able to change what we normally do to make to achieve a certain goal. Okay, to bring something totally different, a new way of doing things, a new way of interpreting things, a new way of doing things. And like I said here, CEOs normally are at the top and they're alone, whereas managers, they usually have teams that work for him or her. Now we have three types of leadership styles at this level. We have the autocratic ones, which just give instructions and to subordinates and what they should do. The democratic style, which share responsibility. Okay, now everybody is responsible. Everybody has something important to do. And then the last one is the laissez-faire. This is the one where minimal supervision is given, and where the leading area normally trust everybody and what they're supposed to do, and they just give them freedom to do what they think is the best option. Okay, so these are the three types of leadership styles: the autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire. Okay. um, and all of these have their pros and their cons. Some people like to be managed and given directions. Other people like to have the freedom to choose, and some people like to share the responsibility. So it is within the leader's um, job to realize the different types of employees that he or she has, and also what is the best way to make them function as a team or as a group. Next, we have the supervising and directing area. Okay, here we need to set clear standards. By standards, I talk about, or I refer to what we want to accomplish. Okay, this is what we need, and everything that we do must be done with this level of responsibility, of quality. I mean, if we have different people working in different things, everybody must be doing the same and producing the same. We need to make sure that everybody knows how and what to do. That way, we set standards, right? We know we need, and the standards can be, especially in quality aspect, right? We need to meet certain standards and never go below. We can go sometimes above, but never below it, right? Then we have, when we supervise or direct, we also monitor performance. Okay, here we take into account what and how people are doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. We monitor how they're working by themselves and in the group, and then we compare these results with our standards. Do these people or do these groups meet the standards? Okay, are we reaching the standards that the leading or the CEO level has imparted or has declared that we must meet? Once we have evaluated, we communicate the results. And when we communicate results, it's not to complain. No, it's more to show, okay, this is where we are now. Okay, this is what we're doing, and this is what the things that we need to meet. Okay, so then we have, if there's a need to take any corrective action, then we will take it. Okay, if we need to change something, we will, and if we need to correct something, we will. Okay, and then we have also to give positive feedback. Okay, to give positive feedback is to tell the people what they need to do to improve. And finally is, if somebody needs to be compensated for a job well done, then we should be able to give them this, all the feedback that they need, or all the compensation that they might require to continue doing a good job. Okay, and this is goes to the next part that we're also going to talk about, which is the motivating part. Okay, it's very important to motivate. If motivation is going to be a clear aspect of how to produce or to get better results. There are four theories that set the standards for motivation. We have the Maslow theory, the Herzberg theory, the McGregor theory, and the Drucker theory. We're going to talk about them in a little bit. We have also salary and promotion. Of course, If people feel that they are compensated equally to what they give, then that's motivation. Okay, if somebody does a lot or does many things, but the salary is not equal to what he or she gives, then that's going to definitely cause demotivation. Okay, and of course, not everything is money. People, or some people, prefer to be recognized of their effort by promoting them, right? To make them, if you see that these people have some type of leader skills, then they should be able to be promoted to a higher level inside the managing areas that are available in each of their jobs. Okay, and then we have the type of job design. We have empowerment, and we also have job enrichment. By empowerment, this is motivating because we tell our employees that, okay, you're going to have the capacity of taking decisions. Okay, you will need to always verify with me what you have to do. I'm going to empower you. I'm going to give you the ability to take or to make decisions. And by job enrichment is when we give our employees a job, or we give them an activity or a task that is meaningful for the company, something that will make them feel important, relevant, and that they are a key a key member of the business. Okay, this is what means by job enrichment. If you give somebody a responsibility and you tell them, this is very important for our business because this reason or that reason, then that is totally motivating for the employee. So, like I was saying, motivation has to do with some theories, which we're going to see in a minute. Then the other one is salary and promotion, and finally empowerment, when you give people the opportunity to make decisions, and job enrichment, where we have when we give them meaningful activities or meaningful responsibilities that will make sure that will make them feel an essential part of the business or the company. Okay, so these first three things are very important. First, leading at the CEO level, where the leader is going to decide what the company is going to do, and he needs to be innovative and creative. He needs to be capable of making radical changes if he needs, if he senses that the company needs it. The types of leadership: autocratic, when he gives the instructions and other people follow; democratic, where everybody shares responsibility; and finally, the laissez-faire is when you need minimal supervision for what you need to do. Okay, all of them have pros and cons, but typically these are the three forms of leading from this level. Then the supervising and directing level is setting clear standards, monitoring, comparing results, or communicating the results, not to criticize, but to recognize our weaknesses, take action if necessary, always give positive feedback, and to always reward people if they need to be rewarded. Okay, very good. The next three things that we're going to talk about is how things we can be communicated. Okay, there are different types of communication. First, we have external communication towards our customers or our clients, which is done by the public relations department. Okay, or the PR department. And then we also have internal communications, where people communicate amongst colleagues, amongst teams, amongst areas, or amongst groups. Okay, communication has to be from the top to the bottom, and then from the bottom to the top. Okay, everybody needs to know everything that is happening. Just as an employee needs to communicate to his manager what is going on, a manager needs to communicate with his employees what they need to do. Just as a CEO sets the standards of what will be done in the business, the employee needs to be able to report to the CEO all his or her achievements. Then we have assertiveness and active listening. Okay, when we are assertive, is we listen to what is said, and we take action. We take action if something needs to be done. And finally, active listening. This is very simple. You listen. You really listen. You pay attention to every detail that people say or give, And it's not just, okay, I can hear you because I have ears. No, I am listening to you. I am taking into account everything that you're saying, and I value everything that you're saying. And if it can affect or can something can be modified due to that, then it will be done. Next, the way we manage teams. Okay, in every company there are different teams. We have work teams. You see, these are the teams that do, like the little ants that do everything that needs to be done. Okay, the problem solving teams. These are the teams that are, that are um, focused on and um, are there to react immediately when there's a problem. These teams are constantly monitoring and asking questions and surveying groups and interviewing customers to see if something has happened. They don't need to wait for an emergency to appear. They normally evaluate if there are risks and if something could happen in a certain area, and they're there just in case. Cross-functional teams is when we have people with different abilities working on one specific project. And project teams is when we just gather people from different areas and different aspects, and we put them together to manage a certain project. The difference with cross-functional is that here everybody, all the different abilities, they work in a synergical way. They all they increase their abilities together. Whereas in a project, we just put people together. Okay, you guys are going to do this without any certain relationship, whether and neither in ability nor in responsibility in the company. Okay. Then we have team roles. We're going to talk about a little bit more about this as we go. We have people who are head people, we have people who are hands people, and we have people who are heart people. And this and in each of these three types of people, they do a certain activity, or they have a certain function inside the team. And when we form a team, all teams in every business go through 5 stages. The first stage is the forming stage. Then we have the storming stage, the norming stage, the performing stage, and finally the adjourning stage. We're going to mention the different characteristics of each of these stages as we go through this lecture. Okay, so this has to do with the fact of managing teams. And finally, the last one is making decisions with colleagues. Okay, it's important that people learn how to work together as a team, that they learn how to work as a group. And not everybody thinks the same, not everybody acts the same, but they need to learn how to perform well together. Okay. Um, for example, if problems appear, they need to accept the problem. They need to be able to define what is the problem. They need to be able to relate and identify the problem and identify the objectives that they want to reach or they want to meet. Okay, they need to be able to collect the information, all the information necessary to be able to make a decision or to find a solution. They need to be able to analyze the information and develop alternatives. Okay, this is the problem, and here are many options. Normally, it's always good to have 2 or 3 options available for any problem or any situation. That way, all the group can take into can evaluate, can vote on which is the better solution after pros and cons have been taken into account. And finally, being able to make a decision on the best alternative, not my alternative, not my workmate's alternative, but the best alternative. Here, selfishness needs to be taken out of the picture, because the what we're looking for is for the best decision for the business, which will have the better outcome and which will have the better results for everyone. Communicate the decisions. We cannot make decisions and just leave it in the dark. We need to communicate every decision that was made. And after we hit communicated, we need to implement it. Okay, and after it's implemented, we evaluate the results with reports. So this is how we make decisions. We see a problem. Okay, we find it. Okay, we define it. Okay, we recognize it. Then okay, where do we want to be? Okay, this is a problem, and here's where we want to go. Okay, now let's gather all the information necessary to be able to solve this problem. Okay, with all this information, let's analyze it and let's see this helps us, this doesn't help us. If it doesn't help us, then just eliminate it. If it's helpful, then just keep it. and then start to develop solutions or means of action or ways of action. Okay, and then at the end we will have two or three options. After we have the two or three options, whether it's mine or somebody else's, we make a decision. Okay, which of these three alternatives will be the best way to act against the problem that we found and reach the objective that we have identified. And finally, after we have made a decision, the following steps are very simple. We communicate our decision and we implemented it. Okay, and after it's implemented it, then we evaluate our results to see how everything went. And if after evaluating how everything went, there are some problems that need to be taken into account, then we go back to step one. We identify what was the problem, etc., etc. Okay, so it's a cycle that never stops, with the sole purpose of meeting meeting objectives and reaching goals. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is motivation. Okay, here we are going to talk about the theories that we mentioned at the beginning, right? The ability to motivate others and improve morale is a soft skill. Okay, you know what soft skills are, right? That is difficult to acquire and it's almost impossible to measure. Okay, there are four thinkers that have contributed to this field. There are four thinkers that have contributed to this field. Okay, let's go to the first one. The first one that we're going to talk about is Maslow. Okay, Maslow sees that there is a hierarchy of needs. Okay, when the way things need to be done, and in a certain first this, then this, then this. Okay, so to be able to talk about history, he says that we need to increase the self-actualization needs, the self-esteem needs, the social needs, the security needs, and the physiological needs. Okay, these are needs that everybody has in the workplace. The first two needs, I mean, um, um, are very difficult to, it won't affect much business because they have to do with, it's very difficult for a person to feel insecure and feel that his life is in danger inside a business. That's why these needs are already met. Okay, if I decide to work in a certain place, it's because I know that my life is not threatened and that my health is not threatened. Because I mean, if I see that, for example, I apply to a business and it's in a very it's in a very dangerous area, then it's going to affect my security needs. So I probably won't even start working there. Or if I see I work in a place where too much contamination is set, then I know that it's going to affect my health. Then probably I won't accept that work there. Okay, so basically the first two needs are normally not a problem with business, because if a worker or an employee starts working there with you, he has making sure that these two needs are covered. Okay, now what this theory says is that we first need to cover, and once we have achieved a certain need, then we go to the next need. We cannot skip needs, or we cannot stay forever in one level, because then we will feel demotivated. Okay, so that once we reach a certain need, we will feel the necessity to go to the next step. Okay, so after the security needs, we have the social needs, and this is the need where we need to feel accepted. We need to feel that we are members of a group. Okay, once this need is fulfilled, we go to the next step, which is the need for recognition. Okay, this is the need, the self-esteem needs. This is the need where we feel that we need to be recognized. We need to be they need to tell us that thank you, and they need or some sort of recognition by our business. Okay, once this need is fulfilled, then we go to the final need, which is the need for self-fulfillment. Okay, where we need to give our fullest potential. Okay, this is the self-actualization need. Okay, once I feel that I've been accepted, and then once I feel that I've been recognized, then I need to feel that I have given the 110% of my capacity to reach a certain goal. Okay, so this is motivational. This will increase motivation, and this will help you to like I said before, if you only stay, if I, okay, I feel socially accepted, but then nothing else happens, I am never recognized, then I'm going to get bored. I'm going to forget about this business, and I'm going to maybe look for one that recognizes my abilities or recognizes me as an employee next, for example. Or on the other hand, or okay, I am accepted, and then I am recognized, but then I don't feel the need to do more. Okay, I just got here. Okay, I got promoted. Okay, I'm a manager, and I don't need to do anything else. Then I will also feel demotivated. So in this case, that's that. Here is the fundamentation of why it is necessary to reach all the needs and to feel motivated. Okay. The next theory is the Herzberg theory, which is similar to Maslow, only that with a couple of different. He includes things that demotivate. Okay, Maslow only says that if we stay in this level, we will not feel more motivation. Herzberg adds a couple of things. Okay, for him, the most important motivators are the sense of achievement, the earned recognition, and the interest in a job. Okay, if I am doing something that is not interesting for me, and I'm doing it just because I have no other option or just because I need the money, I'm going to be demotivated very quickly. Like if I feel that I have done many things and I have not received not even an ounce of recognition, then I'm going to feel demotivated. And of course, the sense of achievement is, like we mentioned before, job enrichment, right? That whatever I do needs to be meaningful. If I'm just going to do things for the sense of doing them, then I will never feel that I am accomplishing anything. Okay, and now in this theory we have some which Maslow didn't include. He only said that it will be demotivating to stay on a certain level. In this level, we have other things that demotivate: hygiene. Some people don't like working in dirty and untidy places. Maintenance, again, people who need to be working in a place that is working properly. If I need to work with computers, my computers are proper, and the operational programs are modern, etc., etc. The same with my salary, my job security. How secure is my job, right? How sure am I? How long am I going to be in this business? Is it a place where I'm going to be able to work for many years, or is it a place where I'm only going to be for a few months or a few weeks? Okay, that is motivating too. The working conditions and the good relations with your colleagues. Okay, sometimes when I start working at a place and maybe it has all the good things I mentioned before, but maybe there are people who are not good teammates, or maybe I don't feel comfortable working with them, I will immediately lose motivation, and this will go definitely against your production. Okay, so it's important to be able to recognize where am I, if I go under Maslow's theory or in Herzberg's theory, and if any of these things will affect my production or my accomplishments at my business place. We have two more, as we mentioned before. The first one is McGregor. Okay, McGregor has two theories. McGregor has theory X and theory Y. In theory X, he believes that the manager um, thinks that many people don't like working. So they are here because they only need the money. So I have to control them, and I have to tell them exactly what they need to do. The theory Y says that managers think that people love to work and they want to feel motivated with work. So he believes in empowerment and enabling. Okay, like I said, mentioned before, empowerment is when you give employees the authority to make decisions, and enabling is when you give them the tools to be able to achieve this goal. Okay, so in theory X, people don't like to work, but they're here because they need to work, and they need to be controlled and be told to do what to do very frequently. Whereas in theory Y, he believes that people love to work, but they love to be motivated while they work. Okay, So it's important to fulfill these two things, at least to empower them and to at least enable them with everything they need. And finally, we have the Drucker theory. He believes in management by objective or MBO. Managers work with employees to formulate clear, ambitious, but achievable goals. Okay, so management by objectives is okay. We're going. This is our purpose. This is what we want to do. We're going to do everything we can to reach this certain goal. Okay, this is the MBO theory. And what happens here? There must be monitoring and measurements to ensure that the objectives are being met. So, okay, our purpose is this. I'm going to control, measure, evaluate everything that will help us reach this goal. And of course, if people achieve these goals, then they will be rewarded with pay rises and bonuses. That's the way of motivating. Okay. Sometimes, for example, in these places that they sell cosmetics and things like that. Okay, ABL, Mary Kay, Jambal, they, for example, they tell you, okay, the purpose is that you start from the bottom and this is your higher rank. This is where you want to be in a few months or years. But every time you accomplish a certain level or some certain requirements, you will be promoted. You will receive gifts. You will be recognized publicly. Okay, so this is like every time you achieve a certain mini or sub objective, you will be rewarded and motivated until, and all of these things will help you reach the final objective, which is, in the case of these companies, is like be a manager or be in charge of a certain group of people. So like I mentioned before, we have four theories. The first theory that we mentioned before was the Maslow theory and the Herzberg theory, right? And both of them are related because they both have to do with reaching people's needs. What do you need, and every time you reach your need, you go to the next one. You are constantly motivated. And then the other two are McGregor with the theories X and Y. Theory X, people hate working, but they do it because they have to. So I need to control you. 3Y is when people love working and I need to motivate you by giving you meaningful tasks. And Drucker, that he says, okay, people work when you give them objectives. You need to do this. This is our main goal. And you are rewarded every time you reach a certain goal. Okay. Next, communication. Okay, like I mentioned before, communication needs to be done from top to bottom and from bottom to top. Okay, everybody needs to be communicated. The CEO needs to have communication. The employees need to have communication, and there is internal communication where people communicate internally during, like I said, in breaks and on the grapevine. On the grapevine means when people just they pass information from mouth to mouth. And we have the external communication, which is done by public relations. And now, in all of these types of communications can be formal or informal. The informal is, like I said, well, people speaking, and the formal ones are done by presentations, meetings, etc. Now, the two important types of communications are these. Like I mentioned before, the active listening and the assertiveness. Okay, in active listening, you listen with full attention and not interrupting, except to ask for clarification and considering other people's point of view. So this is active listening. I listen to everything you have to say, if I don't interrupt, and I only ask questions to clarify facts. Okay, I only ask questions to clarify facts. I don't interrupt you. I don't say anything that is not related to the topic, and I consider everybody's point of view. And then we have the assertiveness. Assertiveness is when you state your needs and opinions confidently and clearly without being indirect or being aggressive and rude. I tell you, okay, uh, I listen to you and I give you my most sincere opinion, but without trying to be. I mean, it's like in English they say beating around the bush. I'm telling you what you need to do because this is going to help you the most. Okay. Um, without being rude, without being offensive. But I'm telling you what you need to hear to be able to meet a certain goal or to achieve a certain goal. Okay, so these are two types of communication that is used in communicating and when you manage people. And then comes teamwork. Okay, a team or task force or working party needs a variety of personalities to perform well. This is what I mentioned before, right? We have the people, the head people who are good at thinking and problem solving. Then we have the hand people who are good at doing and acting. And finally, we have the heart people who are good at networking and resolving conflicts. These are the three types of people that we have normally in a workplace. The head people who are good at thinking and problem solving, the hand people who are good at doing and acting, the heart people who are good at networking and solving conflicts inside the business. Okay, and each one, of course, is assigned to, if you are able to recognize what type of person you're working with, you will be able to collocate them in the correct areas, right? For example, if you want to collocate somebody in the problem solving area, you're not going to collocate somebody that has the characteristics of a hand person. You're going to choose a head person or even maybe a heart person. Okay, but if you need to find solutions, like you need to be able to work as a team, you need to find accomplish certain tasks, then you're going to recur to the hand person, okay? Because he or she is going to be the one who is going to get the job done. Okay, so it's important to recognize in which category do your employees or the people who work in a certain area fit. Remember, heart person are good at thinking and problem solving. The hand person is good at doing and acting. The heart person is good at networking and solving conflicts. Remember that I can read your questions in Facebook, so I can answer any questions that you might have. Next, okay, when we form a team, every team goes through certain stages. The first stage of a team is the forming. Okay, you get people to know each other. Okay, you are going to work with this person, and that person. You form the group, and they need to start getting to know one another. The next stage is the storming stage. The storming stage comes from the word brainstorming. You know, ideas get suggested, and also if there are any conflict that may appear, it is solved, and people try to start forming. I mean, start to put the differences aside. Next, the norming. Members sort out a way of working together. Okay, let's put our differences behind and let's start working together as a team. And they begin to own and share objectives. Okay, now that we have eliminated all our differences, now let's try to find one unique way of working. Okay. Next is the performing. Now everything is settled. We have no problems. All of us are working together. So the members focus on solving problems and doing what they have to do. Every progress can be seen as a milestone, which is an event that mark an important stage in this progress. Okay. So this is the second to last step. And finally, the adjourning step is when the job is finished and there is often public recognition and celebration of any achievement. So this is how teams normally, you know, they go from not from nobody knows each other to people start giving out the ideas, finding out what they agree on, where they disagree on. Next, they start setting the norm. Okay, let's find where do we agree on the most, and let's start working on that. Performing. Now that everything has been settled, let's start working on the project. Let's start working on meeting this goal. And finally, the job has been done, and now recognition needs to be set. Okay, so these are the 5 steps in teamwork. This is how people start working together and learn how to be teammate and learn how to perform as a group. Okay, very good. So with this said, let's review some of the concepts that we have talked about today. For example, when we communicate things, we listen with full attention and not interrupting except to ask for clarification and considering others' point of view, and stating your needs and opinions confidently and clearly without being indirect or being aggressive and rude. Which is which? Which is which? Your two options are assertiveness and the other one was, do you remember? Okay. So remember, this is how we communicate. We listen with full attention and not interrupting, except to ask for clarification and considering other points of view. The other one is stating your needs and opinions confidently and clearly without being indirect or being aggressive or rude. So the first one, if you said active listening, you are correct, right? One way of communicating is with active listening. People pay full attention and they don't interrupt the person who is talking. Only if interruption is needed, it is only done to clarify information, okay? And everybody's point of view is taken into account. And the next one, where you set your needs and opinions confidently and clearly without being indirect. I mean, you're being direct. That's really, this is key in a certain. You need to be direct and you're not aggressive or rude, okay? Very good. So think about it. This is assertiveness, okay? Very good. Now I'm going to give you another thing that you can think upon. What type of people fit each description, okay? So we have good at thinking and problem solving. We have are good at doing and acting and are good at networking and solving conflicts, okay? So I'm going to give you a minute to think where what type of people. Okay, so you had a few seconds to think. So, what type of people are good at thinking and solving problems? What type of people are good at thinking and solving problems? If you said head people, you were correct. These are the people who like to think and solve and find solutions. Who are the type of people who are good at doing and acting? Okay, if you said and people, then you were correct. They are the people who are good at doing and acting. These are the workforce of your company. And finally, who are the type of people who are good at networking and solving conflicts? If you said hard people, then you were correct. Okay, hard people, hard person is they're good at networking and solving their conflicts. Very good. Very good. And to finish with this conference, let's look here at the pyramid or the different levels of how teams are formed. What is the first level when you form a team? You remember? The first level that you encounter when you form a team? Yes, very good. The first level is forming. You form the group, people get to know each other, and they start to know what they're going to do and how they're going to do it, right? Yes, that is forming. It is the first level of team of a team formation. The next level of a team formation is, well, remember what the second level of a team formation is? The next level of team formation is the next level of team formation is very good, storming. The second level is storming, and this refers to brainstorming. All the ideas of the group start to be, start to flourish. People start to think what they're going to work and how they're going to work, what ideas do they have to reach the goals, etc., etc. Okay. And this is where people start to start solving the problems, right? Very good. That's the storming level of teamwork. The next, what is the next level that comes after? Okay, so you formed the group. Everybody gave their ideas. They started to figure out what they agreed upon, and what they disagreed on. And what is the next level? What is the next level? What is the next level? Okay. The next level is, okay, so now remember, we formed the group. Everybody started to give out their ideas. We started to see what we agreed on, what we disagreed on. And then what is the next level? Yes, the norm. Okay. Now people start to figure out, okay, now this is, we disagree on this, so this has to go away. We agree on this, so let's work more on this, okay? So this is the norm. Members so out of the way, a way of for working together and begin to own and share objectives. So members sort out a way of working together. Okay, let's find, we might have all these differences, but we have all these things in common. So let's start working together to form a group. Very good. This is the norming part. Then the second to last part. Okay, now we are all working together. Now we know what we need to do and how we're going to get there. The fourth level of teamwork is the fourth level of teamwork is, yes, performing. This is the part where, okay, we know what we need to do, so let's do it, okay? Members focus on solving problems and doing the tasks. Progress can be seen as they pass many milestones, okay? A milestone is an event that marks an important stage in this progress. So again, we form the groups, we get to know each other. The next, we all give our ideas, we brainstorm all the ideas, what we think and what our opinions and positions are. Norming, we figure out a way of working together, even though we may or might not agree on everything. Once everything is sorted, then we go to the performing stage where we do what we need to do. Okay, we solve the problems and we work as a team. And the last step is adjourning. Okay, now that the job is finished, some kind of recognition must be given to the team for accomplishing the task. Okay, and some kind of celebration for the achievement must be made. Okay, very good. Okay, so these are the 5 steps that go in that are taken into account when we form teams. Okay, and with this we finish the review. Remember that if you had any questions, I will answer them on Facebook, and also there's a small evaluation with 5 questions related to the topic. Okay. The topic of managing people is a very interesting and complicated one because not everybody thinks the same. People have different backgrounds, different educational backgrounds, different family backgrounds, social backgrounds, but it's not impossible. If this is where leadership comes into account, comes into play. If a leader knows how to collocate, how to position each one of the workers depending on the type of worker that they are, if they are a heart person, a head person, a hand person, if they have managing skills, if they have the qualities to be a leader, where to collocate them, if they can work well with other people, if they need to work individually because maybe they don't work well with people. We need to identify, is it a team, is it a group? Okay, if all these things can be sorted out, then managing people, despite its difficulty, is a very interesting and awesome um, characteristic of of the workplace. So again, on Thursday we're going to talk about operations management. I hope you can accompany us on Thursday. And again, like I said, I will follow your questions always on Facebook, and try to answer them as quickly as possible. I apologize for the technical difficulties today, and also the background noise, which is, as you may know, or you might not know, I have a little daughter, um, and um, and today was my turn to babysit. So you might have heard her in the background. Okay, we're only human in these things. I always thought this might not happen to me, but I guess it happens to everyone. Um, Again, thank you for following us on Facebook. Thank you for following us on Zoom. And again, the topic of Thursday's lecture will be operations management. And hopefully, we will see each other that day. Please stay safe, stay at home, and don't go out if it's not necessary. Okay, take care of your loved ones. Have a great afternoon, and I will see you on Thursday. No questions? No? Okay, so here is my information, just in case you want to contact me via email at cjmflores@gmail.com. This is my WhatsApp contact, and this is my LinkedIn account in case you have any questions regarding English or the topic that we spoke about today. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on Thursday. Give me a second. Thank you. Bye bye, Limber. Take care. Bye bye to the people who followed us on Facebook.